Was that a week or what? Definitely made worse by the freezing weather around the country and also at the Madlunga Commission. But it feels honestly like we've squeezed 6 working days into 4. But yes, you've made it to Friday. Speaking of weather, the recording of our webinar, The Great Green Hoax, which we held on Wednesday this week, has been dropped onto our website, and that's at www.ebnet.co.za. And this webinar, sponsored by Paragon Impact by Alex Forbes, was a frank conversation around whether climate change is real, and honestly, is it even something that we can do something about? Now, the answers are yes and yes. And the conversation, which was described as absolutely brilliant by one of the attendees, turned to the practical steps, right, that we can take. And let's just start by asking the right questions in our meetings. Now, as I said in my newsletter of yesterday, asking the right questions is a key competency of any decision maker. And don't think that I'm not talking to you or that this doesn't apply to you, because you make decisions every day. Now, whether that's in your role as an advisor or consultant, or as an employer, or as a trustee or manco, or even in your own world when it comes to your own money, your health, your career. And this week's episode of The Art of Manager Fusion, also on our website and across our socials, unpacks the key considerations that we may overlook, or even the key questions that we may overlook because we become so hyper-focused on investment returns. I'll give you an example. How have we considered ESG in the build out of this portfolio, and what are our carbon emissions? Now, that's obviously a cheeky but very necessary reference to this week's webinar. But there are issues around operational failures, governance, and compliance and controls that we do need to ask about. So go and catch this week's episode, and that's The Art of Manager Fusion, which is on our website to boost your library of questions to ask in your next meeting. Also this week, we've seen the pension funds adjudicator flex on death benefits again. This time, it's because a board of trustees didn't ask the right questions or question the integrity of an affidavit. Okay, there were some other issues, but death claims remain tricky. So go and check that article out. It is on our website and on some of our social feeds. Now, the big buzzword in the industry right now is integrated or holistic benefits or advice. I know this. I attend a lot of the conferences. I watch all the content that we do produce and that some others produce as well. And this idea that a human being is more than just the sum of their parts, right? My healthcare doesn't sit here, or my medical aid doesn't sit here, my retirement fund there. My bank account is my bank account. And with that finite amount of money, I need to support myself, my family, with the right benefits at the right time. And it's in this context that we've put together and dropped our first episode of our newest podcast series, Beyond Benefits, sponsored by Alex Forbes. Now, how do we navigate this integrated advice that we're all talking about when it comes to our phase subcategories? And how do we build out our conversations and topics at the benefits or at the decision-making table to make them relevant and meaningful for that client, be that an individual client or an institutional pension provident fund, or even a healthcare or medical aid client? So we need to ask the right questions. And you can go and listen to my conversation with Belinda Sullivan, who is the head of corporate strategy and value proposition at Alex Forbes. And she will guide us in this first episode around what makes for a rounded or important or valuable employee value proposition for an organization. And that will give you some direction in the bits and pieces to add to your advice, not advice, to add to your conversation. And I cheekily referred to the fact that it's time that modern portfolio theory, and that's obviously from the investments world, enter the advice world. And I'm seriously thinking about patenting the phrase modern benefits theory. But that's where we are on that.
Hi, pals. Greetings from Sammy. EBNet is proud to bring you top quality content from experts across the financial services industry in South Africa and internationally for free. Your support helps us in doing this. All we ask is that you subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Share this video with others you think will benefit from it. And give us a thumbs up if you are enjoying the content. That way you help us help you. Thank you from the team at EBNet. For more great content, please visit www.ebnet.co.za. Ciao, ciao, and bye-bye.
Okay, so we're well into Women's Month. This week's episode of Industry Insights unpacks gender bias in AI. And blah, blah, I can hear you saying in your mind, same old, same old. But the team from Cliff Decker Hofmeyer have done a ton of research on this and its impact on employee equity in organizations. Like I said in my recent reel on socials, and look at me being a YouTuber, my kids would be proud. But I was in the gym, and if I had downloaded or asked my AI assistant to give me a training program, would it take into account the fact that I was a woman? And would it do that knowing that the research is done mostly on male athletes? And so it's important that as we delve into this world and explore this world of AI, that we interrogate the research with which we are presented. And gender bias is one of those things. And you can go and listen to my discussion with the team at CDH. And here's some fairly shocking revelations, and just a reminder to question the research that you are being presented with. Okay, which brings me back to the focus on questions, right? Our upcoming webinar for Women's Day brings a different lens on some of the same conversation. And perhaps the question is not why are there gender pay gaps? Perhaps the pay gaps are not gendered at all. And perhaps we're becoming hyper-focused on the wrong questions. And if you'd like to explore that with me and some of the industry thought leaders, you can go onto our webinar, or onto our website, or you can register in the link below and join me for that conversation. Remember, follow us on all our socials. I always forget one or two of them, but we're on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, X, I think it's called now, LinkedIn. I know I'm forgetting one, but please follow us as we look to grow your financial confidence and how you handle your money and the money of others. Until next week.